So we have a cleaned up version of the emergency tow call from the 4th of July in the case of Nolan Wells, thanks to Janetta Brantley, who is a sound engineer. And
guess who was paying for Nolan Wells' independent autopsy? Colin Kaepernick. You guys, this is a big deal. Colin Kaepernick is paying for his independent autopsy.
Colin Kaepernick just set the entire internet on fire. He went behind the FBI's back to leak a disturbing audio clip featuring Nolan Wells' so-called friends allegedly admitting to ending his life. TMZ even dropped a cleaned-up version of an earlier 911 call, where those same friends are heard discussing how to dispose of his body. Many people believe the callers didn't realize the recording had already started while they were waiting for dispatch to answer. If that's true, those first few seconds could become one of the most important pieces of evidence in the entire case. Investigators have the ability to isolate the voices and determine exactly what's being said. Online, some people even claimed no arrests had been made because one of the friends' mothers is a judge. However, there is no verified public evidence supporting that claim. Then another twist followed. Independent audio engineer Janetta Brantley released her own cleaned-up version of the recording, and it quickly went viral across social media. This version sparked even more debate. Some listeners claimed they could hear the name Bart in the audio. That immediately fueled the viral theory that Nolan's friends already knew he was dead before the timeline suggests, although those interpretations remain disputed and have not been officially confirmed. Full investigative context. Long before these recordings gained attention, Colin Kaepernick had already become one of the most vocal public supporters of Nolan's family. Reports indicate that he contributed financial assistance to help.
Location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. Like, I'm not. He's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone, they tracked it.
However, not everyone agreed with that version. Forensic analyst Robert Frered compared the original recording with the TMZ audio and reported that the TMZ version was about 20 seconds longer and had a different digital fingerprint, suggesting it wasn't simply a cleaned-up copy of the same file. That immediately raised new questions about its authenticity. Robert also stated that even advanced audio enhancement software failed to detect those alleged words, and professional transcriptions didn't identify anything similar either. Then there was the autopsy controversy. According to public statements, this was the moment that pushed Colin Kaepernick to become personally involved in the case. Believing there were still serious unanswered questions surrounding Nolan's death, he offered to help fund an independent autopsy, arguing that the family deserved a thorough and transparent investigation. That immediately raised even more questions. After the family examined the phone, they found that text messages were no.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
Did we just hear? What was that? Out to investigative reporter Crime Stories, Dave Mack. Did you just hear what I heard?
Talked about aspects of the entire investigation. What those differences actually mean remains a matter of debate. But for thousands of people following the case, it became another reason to question whether every piece of evidence had been fully explained. And as experts, investigators, and internet sleuths continued examining the digital trail, the story became even more complicated.
So we have a cleaned up version of the emergency tow call from the 4th of July in the case of Nolan Wells, thanks to Janetta Brantley, who is a sound engineer and an audio expert. Now, before I play the cleaned up version, I want to say that I appreciated that not only did she give us the cleaned up version of the audio, but she explained her process. She did not use AI, and she told people to listen with their own ears and gave us a transcript. I also want to give a trigger warning because what you're about to listen to is really hard to listen to. It broke my heart into pieces, and I cannot imagine what this poor boy went through the day that his life was allegedly taken.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Now, if this cleaned up version of the audio is accurately depicting what we think we're hearing, then that means Wyatt was being dishonest because you can clearly hear his name being yelled while they're also yelling in distress about Nolan not being alive. That means Judge Ashley Cole, who is the mother or stepmother of Wyatt, also was dishonest in her statement. And I want to be clear. She said things very matter-of-factly. She said that Wyatt last saw Nolan at 3 p.m. and that their boat left the island at 4:31. So that means that she is speaking as though these are facts. She did not say.
However, not everyone agreed with that version. Forensic analyst Robert Frered compared the original recording with the TMZ audio and reported that the TMZ version was about 20 seconds longer and had a different digital fingerprint, suggesting it wasn't simply a cleaned-up copy of the same file. That immediately
Will say is that, again, I'm suspicious because they keep breadcrumbing us with this audio, and every time a new piece of the audio comes out, there's something different. And the mainstream media is, of course, not reporting this, and there's plenty of technology that exists that could try to enhance the voices and see what is actually being said. Now, my theory is that someone who was around but was not directly involved is going to come forward soon because they don't want to go to jail messing with these people. Now, if that is what is being said on this audio, then that means that their cover-up goes so much deeper than just acting like they don't know what happened to Nolan. That means that there were a bunch of people around who know exactly what happened to Nolan, and they all decided that they were going to come up with a story and run with it. Now, another thing that's frying me, and maybe I'm confused, is that originally they all was acting like they did not know Katie McCormick, the girl who Nolan was allegedly with on the beach the last time they saw him. But in the stories they keep telling, they keep talking about people texting Katie to ask Katie where Nolan was. But y'all made it seem like y'all didn't know her.
Then there was the autopsy controversy. According to public statements, this was the moment that pushed Colin Kaepernick to become personally involved in the case. Believing there were still serious unanswered questions surrounding Nolan's death, he offered to help fund an independent...
Y'all, it has just been reported that Tyler Perry will be paying for Nolan Wells' funeral. Absolutely incredible. And then on top of that, Colin Kaepernick's foundation will be taking over the independent autopsy, and they will be actually paying for that as well. So basically, they are taking care of the family. Shout out to Tyler Perry. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. Listen, I love my people when we look out for each other. They are always doing something for the community. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can talk about their flaws, but let's highlight the positivity and what they're doing and actually giving back. They actually be giving back. So shout out to Tyler Perry and shout out to Colin Kaepernick. That is absolutely incredible. Now make this go viral.
The case has sparked thousands of reactions across social media. One person commented, "I never imagined Nolan's case would receive this much public attention. I just hope his family finally gets the answers they deserve." Another wrote, "No matter what happened, every question deserves to be investigated, and the truth should come out through the proper process." Now I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Colin Kaepernick's decision to help fund an independent autopsy? And what are your thoughts on the different versions of the 911 audio that have circulated online? Do you believe they raise important questions, or do you think people are reading too much into them? Let me know your opinion in the comments section below. And before you go, don't forget to click here to watch our next video covering another case that's been making headlines. Death investigation, except natural deaths and non-criminal traffic accidents, is routinely presented to a grand jury. She also explained that this has been the county's long-standing practice throughout her career. In addition, she pointed to Mississippi's rules of professional conduct, which limit what prosecutors are allowed to publicly discuss while an investigation is still active. She emphasized that withholding the report was intended to protect the integrity of both the investigation and the grand jury process, not to conceal the truth from the public. Now, turning to the independent autopsy that Colin Kaepernick helped fund, that examination ultimately came back as inconclusive. The independent examiner, Dr. Mitchell, stated that several key parts of Nolan's body, including his throat, were not provided to him by Mississippi authorities for examination. Even with those limitations,
Do you mean his f***ing neck was missing? The interior and anterior, which means the front of his neck and the back of his neck, which is necessary to determine if he took on water, choked, and passed away, was missing from his body, removed before his body made it to Washington, D.C., along with a 12x8 soft.
The case has sparked thousands of reactions across social media. One person commented, "I never imagined Nolan's case would receive this much public attention. I just hope his family finally gets the answers they deserve." Another wrote, "No matter what happened, every question deserves to be investigated, and the truth should come out through the proper process." Now I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe they raise important questions, or do you think people are reading too much into them? Let me know your opinion in the comments section below. And before you go, don't forget to click here to watch our next video covering another case that's been making headlines.